I've got some news that'll make your blood boil. The Federal Reserve, the folks responsible for our economy, they don't see a soft landing in sight. Let me tell you what's been going down. So, Jerome Powell, the head honcho at the Federal Reserve, he's been spouting some unsettling statements. First, he says the Federal Reserve doesn't expect a soft landing. In fact, their baseline expectation is that the economy is heading downhill. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. Now, hold on to your seats for this one. Powell claims that everyday Americans are in good financial shape. Good financial shape? Are you kidding me, Powell? You're out of touch. Let's dive into what's been happening in the Federal Reserve's latest press conference. The Federal Reserve had their last meeting on September 20th, and guess what they decided? No interest rate hikes. The Fed funds interest rate remains at 5.5%, but that's not the end of the story. The big question is, will they raise interest rates later this year? Powell says it's more likely than not that they'll hike rates one more time before the year's out. What's that going to do to our wallets, huh? But here's where it gets murky. Powell claims they'll assess the incoming data before making any decisions. They want to take it, meeting by meeting. Great, so we're at their mercy, watching them play the data game while our financial future hangs in the balance. Now, they're telling us that the PCE core inflation is their golden goose for tracking inflation. But when a reporter asks if low PC core inflation could stop them from raising rates, Powell beats around the bush. He says their decision depends on the totality of all the data, not just one data point. Classic politician talk, if you ask me. But wait, it gets better. Powell's asked what one more interest rate increase would do to the economy and inflation. And you won't believe it, he basically shrugs it off, saying it won't matter that much. What kind of answer is that? You don't need a PhD in economics to know that higher rates can hurt everyday folks trying to make ends meet. And don't even get me started on the soft landing scenario. Powell says it's possible, but it's not their baseline expectation. In plain English, that means they're not banking on it. So, what are we banking on, Powell? Now, here's the kicker. When asked about the financial condition of low-income and moderate-income Americans, Powell praises the stimulus money, saying it put them in a very strong financial condition. Really, Powell? You're giving a pat on the back for a temporary fix while everyday folks are struggling with rising prices and stagnant wages? But let's not forget the punchline. Powell thinks that overall, households are in good shape. Sure, if you've got money stacked to the ceiling, but for the rest of us, it's a different story. So, here's the deal, folks. The Federal Reserve seems to be dancing around the real issues. They're considering raising rates while saying it won't hurt us much, and they're not even expecting a soft landing. It's like they're playing economic roulette with our livelihoods. Here's what you need to think about. A rate hike could make it even tougher for you to manage credit card debt. And remember, those stimulus checks were just a band-aid on a gaping wound. We need real solutions, not temporary relief. But here's some food for thought. A hot labor market, where jobs are plenty and wages are rising, sounds like good news, right? Well, it is, but it's not the whole story. Inflation is rearing its ugly head, and that means your hard-earned dollars don't go as far as they used to. So, what's the bottom line, you ask? We're caught in a tug-of-war between the Fed's desire to control inflation and the need for a strong job market. It's a delicate balancing act, and we're the ones walking the tightrope. Now, I won't leave you hanging without a plan. First, stay informed. Keep an eye on the economic data and what the Fed is up to. Knowledge is power, my friends. Second, be prepared for potential rate hikes. If you've got credit card debt, start working on paying it down. And if you're thinking of buying a home or making a big purchase, consider locking in a fixed-rate loan while rates are still relatively low. And finally, let your voice be heard. Contact your representatives and demand economic policies that prioritize the well-being of everyday Americans. We deserve more than vague promises and political jargon. So, folks, that's the scoop from the Federal Reserve's latest press conference. Don't let their cryptic statements leave you in the dark. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and take control of your financial future. And if you want more insights like these, like and subscribe to our channel now.
Before you go, help us by smashing that YouTube like button. And subscribe to this channel, so you won't miss any of our videos. This shows YouTube algorithm that you value our information. And it helps us spread the message. Sharing is caring.